Don't touch that dial.
All right, guys, welcome everyone. It is the time that we've been all waiting for, including myself. Yes, we are once again back in beautiful Germany here on the North Sea. It's an impressive sight to behold for sure. If you've never been here, it is quite a sight seeing thousands of people here lined up along the beaches, waiting to see the world's best here at the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. This is the 8th year of this event. It's the most impressive event I've probably ever been to as far as in the kiteboarding world, and definitely a highlight of our tour season. On the water right now, most importantly, in heat number 1 is Louis Uter versus Gerashenko. You've got France versus Russia on the water right now. We had a bunch of issues with the getting the internet, of course, here in one of the most modernized nations in the world. You would think that everything would be smooth as silk, given the German ingenuity and engineering. Holy, that was nice from Louis right there. Looked like a toe grab S1 or 7S1. But thanks for tuning in to us. We've got 2 streams going out, one through YouTube and one, hopefully, it's functioning through Ustream for our friends in Germany, as the German government has some regulations about live streaming through YouTube. And doesn't allow people inside Germany to watch live events on YouTube. Unfortunately for you guys, hopefully this is getting out through Ustream. It has been working in the past, and hopefully that is the case as of now. But most importantly, as I mentioned, we've got Louis Uter on the water versus Gerashenko. It's been an amazing day of trials. Unfortunately, I really didn't get to watch any of them, as we've all been pretty flat out working behind the scenes to get this stream up and running, and as well as get the network going for our judges' tablets. Here in the middle of the beach, Louis just on fire. If you don't know who Louis Uter is, he's a force to be reckoned with. He is from France, and he looks a little bit like this guy right here. Right there from France, 26, F1. Likes to fish drunk. I mean, huge points right there. Doesn't like to fish sober. I like to be sober when I'm fishing. But Louis apparently really enjoys that pastime. I'm sure there's plenty of you guys out there who enjoy it as well. But maybe I haven't really given it a shot. But my fishing is a little bit different than Louis'. But these guys have been just battling out, trying to just make it into the main event. Both Louis and Gerashenko have climbed up the ladder in what was probably in kiteboarding history the biggest trials ladder ever. Nice KGB with a grab, but kind of getting away from him there as he landed on the beach. But we had over, I think, 71 riders competing in the trials for 14 slots. So it's man, what a battle it was. I mean, there were just huge names that we're just coming up against each other, and of course only a limited few can connect and get into the main event. And Louis Hooter and Mr. Garashenko are two of those people right there. Let's see if we've got a little view of Mr. Garashenko right there. Mr. Artem, 18 years old, definitely does not like broccoli. See if he's, oh, just getting that with a butt check. But you can see these guys are on approximately their 11, 12-meter kites. Throughout the trials, we saw guys pretty much last night on all their biggest gear. So there were 14s, 15s, 13s, and we've seen those sizes out here again today, although the wind is quite, well, maybe not quite a bit stronger, but definitely a few ticks stronger. All right, sorry folks, that's the red flag. That's going to do it for those guys. Coming up next, we've got Mr. Patrick Blanc and Mr. Aaron Hadlow. We talked to both of these the guys earlier in the event, and both are stoked to be back here. Let's hear what Aaron.
I'm Aaron Hadlow. I've just driven from the UK. We're here in Germany for the 4th stop of the PKRA. I've been here many times in the past when I was competing before, but never really had a very good track record here. I've had some of my worst results and never been able to win this event, so hopefully we're able to change that and have a good result at this event. It's a cool event because it's really big, nice on the beach, a little village, and there's lots going on if there's no wind, so even though it's a long 10-day event, it's going to be a good time.
So Aaron Hadlow needs no introduction. Here's a little overview shot of what we've got going here from in the village that's on top of the booth. If you guys are have any friends in Germany, you might want to call them and let them know that we're doing our best to get that Ustream stream up and running for those folks, as it's don't know, quite a bit of a challenge for some reason, but hopefully you guys are getting this on YouTube. For those of you not in Germany, our friends in Germany can also use IP blocker like Hotspot Shield to be able to get that stream. I actually have to load Hotspot just to get the embed to load it onto the website. So there are a few challenges here in Germany with streaming to YouTube, but we're making the best of it. And yeah, so you might I might be stepping out here occasionally just to try and tend to some of those issues. So I will do my best to get back to you and provide you some entertainment and get some of these people out of the way of the camera as well. So coming up right now, Patrick Blanc from Spain versus Mr. Aaron. Wherever the PKRA's been, he's been doing a number of our stops here throughout the year. Not having the best luck, but definitely a promising rider. And that was Aaron Hadlow starting it off with his kite rather high for Mr. Aaron. But I'm sure that there's going to be plenty to see, as he is one of the most powerful riders and definitely one of the riders that I enjoy watching the most, just due to his very personalized style. A lot of riders actually try and mimic Aaron's style, but only he is the one to start it all. But you can see right there, Patrick, a nice power trick. So sit back, enjoy, and welcome to the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. I'm Dave Taberski here. 5:45 here on the shores of beautiful St. Peter-Ording here in Germany, at just the very beginning, just the start of what is, I believe, our fourth freestyle stop of the tour season, following Italy. So we will be hopefully going through multiple rounds today and into a double. So this is one of our longer events. This is a 10-day event, folks. So plan your next week out, as hopefully we've got an improving forecast and we'll be able to bring you the world's best kiteboarders here from the 2013 Beetle Kitesurf World Cup.
Zulu, big bird flies down on the mountain pass. Only thing to survive the crash, black radio. You wanna fly free, go far and fast. Built the last, we made this craft from black radio, black radio, black radio. Black radio, black radio, black radio. You're rocking, yes, you are rocking with the fresh, you are rocking with the depth, you are rocking with the best, you are rocking with the fresh. Now you are rocking with the best, you're rocking with the depth, you are rocking with the best. Just say yes, you are rocking with the fresh, you are rocking with the depth, you're rocking with the best, you are rocking with the fresh. Now you are rocking with the depth, you're rocking with the best, you are rocking with the fresh. Say yes, you're rocking with the best, you're rocking with the depth, you're rocking with the best, you are rocking with the best. Now you are rocking with the best, you're rocking with the depth, you are rocking with the best. Say yes, yes. Zulu,
I used to get high to sedate my fear and hate of those who take power, create chaos to dominate. Sew it up, clean slate, clean break from the old goals and new faith. Take my people by the hand, cause I know I'm not alone. Like Michael Brand, just trying to understand those positive and negative and give it its place. Come into the conclusion that we all the same race. We're just humans, so what we're doing, trying to segregate things, break things, the hell with the shit, just make things.
All right, there's just less than 1 minute remaining in this heat with Patrick Blanc right there. Oh, nice, going for a nice front move to blind, but eating it on the landing. Let's see if Aaron's got one last trick for us. As no, it looks like he's on the beach. I think he knows he's got that one in the bag. As Lewis Craythorne calls it, it's the last trick saloon, that last minute. And we'll probably get Lewis in here later in the stream. But in the meantime, you're stuck with me, Dave Tyberski here. I'll give you a little shot of our awesome booth here, beachside. And welcome back, everyone. It was cool. I got to meet a bunch of people who actually watched the stream, as a lot of our viewers are from Northern Europe. But anyways, it's me again. I'm back here in beautiful St. Peter-Ording with you guys and the best riders in the world at what is one of the classic and quintessential kiteboarding events of all time here. I think it's my 4th year here, 4th or 5th. And definitely it's one of the longest running events. But do stick around with us. Upcoming next, we have Ewan Jaspin and Evandro de Silva, or Idazio de Silva. That's going to be a good one, folks. So please stick with us. We'll be right back with more action here.
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops the trunk, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Said still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, coming up next, we've got this guy, Ewan Jaspin, coming up on deck versus Idazio de Silva. Let's hear what Ewan says.
I'm Ewan Jaspin. I'm from Australia. I'm 19 years old. This is my first time in Germany at St. Peter-Ording for the PKRA. Looks like a nice place to kite. Had a little session yesterday just to get used to the spot, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of people here. This is the most people I've ever seen at an event, so it should be tough, but I'm looking forward to it. Hi, I'm Ewan Jaspin. I'm from Australia. I'm 19 years old. This is my first time in...
Sorry, Ewan, gonna have to cut you short, buddy. I think people would rather watch you ride than listen. Sorry I didn't get that queued up a little sooner to hear the full details of what Ewan had to share with us. But there's, I'm sure this guy, actually, he's got a pretty good heat here. And we'll have to see if we'll be able to roll that again as he moves on into the next round. Or will it be this man right here, Idazio de Silva, man riding his own kites. Idazio from Coipe, Brazil. and getting his own kite company together with the help of one of his team managers from Poland. But Eudazio's an impressive young rider, part of the Brazilian duo of Carlos Madsen and Eudazio da Silva. Ewan right there. That's right, that's his rainbow board. And Ewan knows how to use it for sure. Definitely one of, if probably not the top rider from Australia at the moment. The kid is loaded with talent and definitely one to watch. Looks like he's got some new kites since our last event. He's got a nice Nash kite right there. Nice toe side trick. I forget what that was called. I think it might have been a dum-dum. But you can see we've got quite a bit of cloud cover here in Germany, which is no surprise, as I think this is year 4 or 5 for me. It is always just a mixed bag of weather, and usually that involves some rain, some clouds, and yeah, and some cold weather. So mix the two together and you've got the recipe for a perfect German summer. But there are moments where the sun breaks through and it's really dramatic, quite stark lighting at times here, so it makes for some really beautiful landscapes here in the German countryside. It's quite lovely, and you can see why a lot of the German folk come here for their holidays during the summer. So Eudazio da Silva right there. Take a look at him right there from Brazil, 19 years old, riding for Nobile and Peña. And let's see if that's Ewan right there, 19 from Melbourne, Australia. Nash Kite Republic, Hyperlight, some of his sponsors. 5:57 here in Germany. If you are just joining us, I definitely want to give you a warm welcome from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. I'm Dave Tyberski here in the booth, bringing you the action as it unfolds. Right now we are in just heat number 3. That's Eudazio da Silva right there from Brazil, up against Ewan Jaspan from Australia. I think he was born in Scotland but lives in Melbourne. We're going through it for double S1, but missing the bar. Not going to add up to a whole lot. See one of the beach clubs jutting out into the water. We've got massive tidal range here in northern Germany with, I don't really know what the actual details are, but I can speculate it's at times probably almost a kilometer. Here it's definitely at least a few hundred meters throughout the day, as we've kind of constantly adjusting our judges tower. And you can see from our overview cam here, that's a bunker that those flags are on, because when the tide does come up, the event site area has been known to flood. So that is not ideal when you're putting on a world-class event. So we've got basically a bunker that they can plow in if need be to protect the village here from the rising tide. All right, my woes are confirmed. I can't see the Ustream channel on my machine, so I was kind of thinking that it just is not working for some reason, but I did get some confirmation from some kind soul that it is working on Ustream. So hopefully you guys in Germany, willkommen. Thank you for having us in your beautiful country, and thanks for putting on such a stellar event, as is the case every year here in St. Peter-Ording. Udazio da Silva, nice S3 from Udazio right there. I've got my hands full, folks. We've been following the stream. We've trying to add as much content as we can, trying to bring the action to you, and it has created quite a lot of work for me. And you know what? I'm up for it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And thanks for being here, as we are going to bring you the remainder of the singles and through the doubles throughout the week. So please stick with us, as this is only day 3, I believe. We had a registration day. Yesterday we just managed to get some of the trials done, and today we finished the trials after about 7 or 8 hours of trials. So as I mentioned before, 71 competitors just in the men's trials to get into the main event, 14 slots. So a massive field of competitors. You can see the red flags up. That's going to wrap up that heat with you and Jaspin and Udazio da Silva. I'm Dave Tyberski here in the booth. This seat's empty, but I'm sure there's going to be some folks in here in just a little bit as we move on through our next heat. So coming up, Spiesberger and Hund. I'm not sure who Hund is, but we'll be back with more info on those two cats here in a little bit. Stick around. We'll be right back from the Beetle Kitesurf.
Just one more.
Still, that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, the power is with us. You can see right there the flags are pumping, kites are up. There's about 1 million people around. I counted earlier a mountain of kites that were on the water. I looked down and I counted about 3,420 kites in the air to give you an idea of the magnitude of this event here, the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup here in St. Peter-Ording, Germany. But really, no, I did count, and there were, I think I stopped at about 250, and then I looked upwind, and there was almost just as many upwind. So pretty impressive amount of people here kiteboarding came to check out the event, came to enjoy the winds and waters here in St. Peter-Ording. And a pretty spectacular sight if you haven't seen that volume of kites in the air before. Usually that's reserved for Tarifa, Spain, but looks like St. Peter-Ording on this weekend is giving Tarifa a run for their money. That is right there on the water. Stefan Spiesberger on his North Kite. That blue and orange North Kite coming in is Mr. Spiesberger from Austria. And his competitor is Mr. Hund, which I really don't have any information on Mr. Hund. We did try to do profiles of most of our riders. Some of them, unfortunately, had rather poor handwriting. And those people, unfortunately, did not get a profile made. So I'm going to have to comment at the riders' meeting at registration to please print no cursive. But anyways, Mr. Hund is out there on the water, and as well as Mr. Spiesberger from Austria. This is Hund coming in right now. Ooh, bouncing out right there. Landing it, but just kind of bouncing out. It looks like he's in foot straps. A lot of the guys in foot straps have a tendency to kind of bounce out. Not that you can't bounce out when wearing boots, but definitely gives you a bit more control on those dicey landings in somewhat choppy water. You can see here, Stefan's got his boots on. But as the tide changes here, we get a real big variety of water conditions. As it retreats from the sandbars, it kind of forms a little glassy section as it gets more shallow and breaks the little waves. That's what he was looking for last time. That's Hund right there. And but sometimes when the tide is quite high and pushing in, it's quite choppy. Even up close to the beach. Nice front blind from Stefan. Not really landing with a whole lot of speed, just kind of landed and pushed his board back around to heel side. But he did get it under. I know he can do it better. I've seen him do it. And a nice front move from Hund. It looked like his kite was a bit high, but that's definitely going to help him as he continues his march here. We're about a third of the way through this heat. If you're just joining us, Stefan Spiesberger from Austria and Mr. Hund. Stefan, if you guys don't know what this guy looks like, he's a pretty good-looking guy for you ladies out there. I'm not sure if he's single. Riding for North Energy, AG, Ion, Kia, GoPro, and Otto Wiener. Not sure what Otto Wiener is, but I don't really want to speculate either. We'll just have to get him in the booth at some point and say, what's up with Otto Wiener? But I think that's a pretty normal word in the German language. But Stefan quite decorated with sponsors. And it's no surprise. He's an excellent rider. He's Austrian as well as his fellow countryman, Mr. Michael Schitzhofer. Both of those guys accustomed to these kind of chilly conditions. Apparently the water is not that cold, but the air temperature is quite chilly here, especially when there's not much cloud or sun making it through the clouds. You can see guys right now, both these guys I believe on 11s, maybe 12s. Ooh. Kite getting a little away from Stefan right there. Nice NIS from Mr. Hund. Was that really Evandro de Silva? All right. Well, I stand corrected, folks. Apparently that was not Idazio, that was Evandro. I thought Evandro got knocked out, but as you can see, both those guys share the same last name, although they're not brothers. But someone chimed in and said that it was Evandro, not Idazio, so I do apologize if that was the case, as I only have last. Actually, no. Yeah, it is absolutely right. Evandro de Silva, not Idazio de Silva. So the Brazilian duo is now the Brazilian trio. I don't see Idazio on there, so apparently that guy did not make it into the main event, which gives you an idea how tough these trials were. I mean, these guys were just just going at it. And some of these guys out here have already had 6 heats today. So if you got out in the first round of the trials, you've already ridden, you know, basically an hour full on in World Cup level competition. So it is going to take its toll on some of these riders for sure as they start to meet up some of these guys who have been preceded and have just basically been chilling most of the day. Although we did see Yuri out on the water earlier. I saw Bruna out on the water and some of our other preceded riders. So thanks for chiming in, folks. As you know, it's not that difficult to make some of these mistakes here. Just trying to cover myself. But Hund right there going down. Recovering his kite on the beach, as that's going to do it for that heat right there. That's going to wrap it up. I did get some feedback from our tour manager. There are some internet issues for those guys, so they are not able to have the live scoring coming up on the website, is what I was told during the last break, which means you're just going to have to hopefully I'll just get updated and give you results as I get them. But they are just working on an internal network right there, so not connected. So that's the deal with that. Hopefully they'll get that resolved soon. But in the meantime, enjoy the show, folks. I'm Dave Tyberski here, going to bring you the action. We'll be right back. Hopefully I'll get some results here during the break. Stick with us. We'll be back with more from St. Peter-Ording.
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops trucks, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Says still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, that's going to do it. And that's the start of that heat right there with Mr. Carlos Madsen versus Umpiere. I also figured out another little mistake I made. I didn't think Audazio made it in, but I just saw him sitting in heat number 9, the second round. So Mr. Audazio, I forgot, was already preceded. So he's sitting in there. So we've got 2 De Silvas coming up. It's a good day for Brazil. Hopefully you guys are tuning in. I forget how to say welcome in Brazil, so I will not. Bem-vindo. Bem-vindo a todos do Brasil. That's all I got. And for all you guys as well, But right now on the water is Carlos Madsen, part of the trio from Brazil. There are a few other Brazilian riders, but they have not consistently been making it into the main event. Alexander Neto and I forget, there was another Brazilian rider. I think that was actually at the juniors last week. We didn't do any live stream, but if you followed any of the press releases, we were at the Junior World Champions, Costa Brava, Spain, with some impressive groms, lighting it up, and great event for those guys. Didn't have the best wind, but they were all super stoked, and I was really stoked to be a part of it too. So that is Umpiere right there. This guy's name just keeps coming up. He's been just kind of making his presence known here throughout the trials. Whew. Mr. Madsen saying, I've got something for you, but going down pretty hard. These guys take some big crashes, and I'm sure if you follow the stream, you know that these guys, Mr. Madsen and Eudazio, are pretty much the first guys on the water, as they both probably weigh about 60 kilo, 70 maximum, 65. And they're the last off, but Pierre, I could grab KGB from him. That's right, we might see, actually, yeah, we could see Eudazio De Silva versus De Silva later in the other rounds. And we do have a special guest who just stepped into the studio. You might have actually, you didn't hear him earlier. That was me hearing him on the loudspeaker here at the event. Joining me in the booth is Lewis Crathern. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, going pretty good, Dave. I think we've got an exciting competition here, actually. I think it's absolutely amazing to have the largest amount of people enter the fleet. I think it's a real testament to the PKRA and the way they've changed the disciplines, that so many people want to actually come back to it. There was days when we couldn't fill 32 or 36 slots, and now there's 60 guys trying to get in 24 places. It's brilliant.
What was it, 71 guys for how many slots, 14?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, actually. The whole trials has taken from nearly, yesterday we ran nearly half the day, and today has been pretty much all the day until 5 o'clock. So it really shows, if you get into the main event now, then you really have earned it. Yeah,
well, you did your best. You had some really nice heats. I got to see one of them at least. And how did that go for you?
It went pretty good for me. I did try my best today, but I think I learnt a lesson today, Dave. That I'm not going to bother unless it's 30 knots and above anymore. These guys are very hard to deal with now, especially the Brazilian guys. Madsen, who's the guy who really done me in, he was very good. He's doing KGB 5s, that sort of thing. I think I'll stick to my same repertoire, but do it in any wind style, which works for me. But it's been quite amazing to see, actually. And some of the moves we're seeing here, even in the first rounds, like Louis Hutter has been very impressive. People are starting to grab everything, like no problems.
I think you have to at this level. It's really making a difference. As the new scoring system, we're seeing heats with the closest margin that you could never fathom. We're seeing world championships decided on fractions of small fractions of a point. So it really is going to make all the difference. But we've got Carlos on the water right now. It's Carlos Madsen versus Umpiere. Do you know much about Umpiere?
Yeah, Oliver's a good friend of mine, actually. I'm really stoked for him that he's got into the main event. I think he's just crashed his kite there on a KGB or something, but he's a pretty unique rider. I think that's what helps these riders now. If you've got a few tricks that no one else is doing, I mean, everyone's going to do a low mob or a double S bend to blind or that sort of thing. If you've got a different move that you can grab, then you're going to stand out to the judges, and it'll be very interesting today, certainly with what's coming, which is going to be the heat of the day between Yuri and Aaron. I mean, Jesus,
yeah.
like how funny and ironic that this keeps happening. It happened in France, it's happened here. I bet Alex is very happy about this today.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a smile on his face when he saw that for the first time. But what specific trick are you saying Umpieri's got that, you know?
He likes to do a lot
trick?
of the switch hand grabs, same sort of thing as a Hutter, as we're watching here. I think that's just a nice slim. Oh, sorry, that's Oliver with a slim, my mate Oliver. But I think switch hand grabs, that sort of thing, are really standing out for the judges. They always have been in a way looking for innovation, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Going down there right at the buzzer is Mr. Umpieri. Where is Umpieri from?
He's from Uruguay.
Is he really?
I think he's the only guy flying the flag here, so it's
Cool.
really nice that he's made it into the main event, and I'm sure they're all stoked back home for him to be in the event.
I think we had some Mexicans in the trials. We had, definitely some Brazilians, but not a huge representation of South America here. In Germany, anyways, we do see more Northern Europeans than we do when we're in South America, that's for sure. But we do have an event in Argentina later in the year, but it is good to see everyone showing up and showing what they got here in front of the world stage. But, yeah. Well, listen, we've got who do we got? We got Rondina versus Schulte.
Yeah, and Jono, another good mate of mine who's really powered his way through the trials. He's a top rider. What I like about Jono is that I think he's looked up to Yuri for a long time. The way he rides, the way his style is, he very much is the epitome. He looks just like Yuri, so I'm really happy that he's gotten in the event. If he holds a solid heat here, it's going to be hard for Albie. And another thing which is really interesting now is that these riders that are very, I suppose they must have got comfortable with being in the main event, they're now having to work their asses off to get into the main event. Albie's had loads of heats today to get even into the main event, and he's, this guy's top 5 anyway on the tour.
That's right. So that's Jono right there, 21 from the Netherlands, riding for Future, Different Eye, and Pro Limit, and he's coming up against Mr. Rondina right here from Italy, riding for Cabrina, NP Surf, and GoPro. We caught up with Rondina here, I believe. Let's hear what he had to say.
Ciao everybody, I'm Alberto Rondina. I'm from Italy, and we are in St. Peter-Ording, the amazing Germany. And up here the condition can be totally different from one day to the other. It can be windy offshore, onshore, so it's really challenging, and it can also be cold, and so it depends if you're used to ride a wetsuit or not. Like me in Italy now, it's really warm, so riding a full suit is it's a bit different. And it's a 10 days event, so it's the longest and the biggest, and it should be good fun, so check it out.
Yeah, so that was Alberto Rondina talking about some of the the differences of people coming and used to riding in cooler weather and with thicker wetsuits than people who are this is what they do every day they go ride, which is kind of your situation. You're from the UK, you ride in a wetsuit almost exclusively.
I can deal with anything, mate. It's funny, so these people are saying it's colder, it's bloody boiling. I've got the shorts, the bottom of my 5 mil cut off. It's almost too hot out there, but I think people are adapting. Certainly the Brazilians. And watching Area out there as well. They're okay in 5 mils. The times have changed now. Well, here's the green flag. We're probably going to see a 313 from Jono Schulte. There's a Mobe from Albie on the right-hand side. There's the 313 from Jono Schulte, one of his classic entrances. And I expect he'll come back in with a... sorry, that's a blind judge 3. He'll come back in with a 313 or a 315.
Which is pretty common, pretty standard fare for a lot of these guys. Start off with a blind judge.
Yeah,
and
the
313
Rayleigh
combo.
tricks seem to be their favourite.
Out of the gate, kind of the reliable.
Might see the NIS from Jono. That's one of his guaranteed ones. Nope, it's the 315, which he doesn't usually crash. He's going to be fuming out there now, Dave. I'll tell you, that's usually something he can do in his sleep. Albie's seen it. He's going to be over the moon. Maybe a KGB from Albie, I'm not sure. But conditions are quite nice out there now. They're quite powered on the 13. It's flattened off. It's funny, Germany. Usually certainly my experience of it, and why I actually come to this one is I love it when it's nuking here. I mean, I've been on 6 meters here before, but one thing for sure is it's always windy here.
Yeah, we always get a fair bit of breeze, but one thing I commented on is that the water condition changes depending on, you know, what the tide's doing. So sometimes there's a nice little flat spot in between the sandbanks, and then, you know, the tide comes up and then it's gone and it's choppy right up to the beach, and then sometimes you just get these beautiful little kickers to line up on.
And right now it's lovely. I mean, Albie landing a perfect chromo there, and Jono replying with a back to blind with a nice grab, and it really amazes me sometimes how comfortable these guys are at doing it anywhere. They do these moves in any conditions all the time. Some of them don't even go and practice. So there's a grabbed 3-1-5.
Yeah.
Nice. Like that one early on in the heat. He's got to be feeling pretty good now. And more importantly, he's upwind. Now, we can always go back to this. Some of the best freestylers are the ones that can stay upwind the best. You watch guys like Aaron, Yuri, Kevin. They're the guys, they're upwind. They get to control the heat and they can see everything in front of them. So Jono's got it all to do here.
Yeah, and Albie's really, you know, hasn't performed up to his potential in his past few heats. He's had a couple bad draws, dealing with some injuries, and just really not getting what he would have liked to out of the first 3 competitions. Nothing close to what we know he's capable of and what he accomplished last year. So I think he might have something to prove here in Germany.
It's just interesting seeing Albie's last trick there. I think it was an attempt. I think it was a Moby Dick maybe. I only caught the last part of it as Jono repairs one of his moves earlier with an NIS. Oh, so that's the first time he's done that move. I think we'll see Jono do the 3-1-5 again just to get it done. But Albie is in pole position at the moment, Dave.
He is coming up to in front of the judges in their big, massive judging tower. Probably have seen some shots of that big, massive truck on the beach with that box on it. That's where our judges have been living since about 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Literally. Oh, nice.
Doesn't get better than that. That's a lovely front blind mob to hillside. There's Jono just repairing the damage on that. Oh, did he? Yeah, he got a bit of an arse grab. He repairs the damage, which is often how these guys work. And certainly the best guys can go back to their tricks. If they've done their 5 or 6 tricks, which Jono hasn't yet, but he's confident enough to go back and repair the move which went wrong. Next move, I think it's going to be Jono's shot with a big S-bend pass, probably an S-bend 3. Let's see if that kite goes up. We'll see it. Nope, front mob. Just let go of the bar. And that is going to be the end of Jono's heat, I think, Dave. He's probably got 3 minutes left. He's going to have to pull something amazing out of the bag to stay in this.
I think you're right. Albie's been kind of dumping out the tricks he's got in his bag pretty consistently.
Like the old Albie.
Like the old Albie, exactly. We haven't seen it in a while, so you know, he's such a mild-mannered guy. He just takes it in stride, and you know, he was dealing with a pretty good injury, and I'm sure we're going to see more from him throughout the tour.
Yeah, you just wanted a crow mob there, so didn't go to plan. But I think the real good guys here, the smart guys, are the ones now that can do the toe side tricks, which believe me, they're
scoring
difficult.
well.
Even edging off the toe side is very difficult. So the real smart guys are showing variation with their tricks. So Albie's definitely one of them guys, and I know he's been working on Moby Dicks and Whirly Dicks and all sorts of crazy things.
What did we see from Ewan? Was it Dum Dum?
I couldn't be. If I'm completely honest with you, Dave, I didn't see much of Ewan's heat. I was just helping Oliver out and getting ready, but he had a belter of a heat. Classic heat where you get off the water and know you won. There it is.
There it is. Oh,
Moby Dick, lovely.
Moby Dick. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good setup right here for toe side tricks. It could be a little less onshore, a little bit more side shore for these guys, but it's not too bad of a setup for hitting these kickers from toe side. And there's the S1 that, and he...
Double, it was a double.
Was it double S1?
Yeah, it was a double, which is awesome, really, because he hadn't even done the S1. But I'll tell you what, I bet these guys are so stoked to finally be on 12s and power. They've had some harsh conditions this year to work with. Obviously, everyone knows Le Cat, 7 metre, 6 metre, unbelievable gusty play. One of my favourite places to compete, actually. Purely, I don't love it, but no one else loves it.
Yeah,
so that's why I go there. But I think, we had Italy with very light winds and 15s. And fair enough, some of the trials have been lighter, but there's been wind and it's been powered on 13s and 12s. There's a reasonable amount of flat water.
Oh.
There's a chromo, what, a hillside as well.
I think it was. Oh my gosh, do you know what time it is? I think we're just stepping into the saloon.
We are stepping into, come and have a drink with me, Dave, in the Last Trick Saloon.
All right. I really enjoyed your announcing today, and your German is really good.
And to all you Germans out there, willkommen, meine Damen und Herren. Das ist the third World Cup here in St. Peter-Ording. The wind is wunderbar, and the wetter is sehr sonnig. And hello to mein Freund auf Großbritannien. Lovely. Grabbed NIS from Albie. I mean, he probably knew he'd won that already, but
yeah, I think it was just kind of
for the confidence.
Gravy right there, but yeah, under a minute, just probably a few seconds remaining here in this heat with Alberto Rondina and Jono Schult. Italy versus Holland.
Yeah, that's right.
Netherlands. I noticed some people wrote it Netherlands and some people write it Netherlands.
Well, to correct them all, we say Holland.
Yeah, exactly.
That removes that one.
Exactly. Well, that's going to wrap up that heat. We'll be back here in just a little bit with Mr. Rodwald. Actually, he might be absent, but versus Mr. Paul Saran. But we'll talk about that when we come back. Is he?
He'll be here. It's the German event. He has to be. Right. Sponsors won't be happy with that, Dave.
I don't know. All right. Well,
I've seen him. I've seen him about, so I know.
Okay. Well, glad to hear it. Okay. Well, stick around. We'll be right back with more from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup here in St. Peter-Ording, Germany.
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops the trunk, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Said still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
Where you can't see anything.
There's a look at where we are right there. If we can see, we can wave. That's us right there in the booth. That's right. All right. Thanks. We got Forrest on the camera. Unfortunately, Forrest didn't make it into the main event, but you know, it's consolation for you guys because we have a dedicated cameraman out there on the water bringing you the action here. Here's our overview cam. A little bit down the line, you can see the booth, but that's going to do it with our heat coming up with Mr. Mario Rodwald, Super Mario versus Paul Saran from France.
And already looking at this heat, there's Blind Judge 3 from Paul Saran, but look where Mario is. He's way up there, and he's an experienced guy, He's one of them guys that's been around on the tour for a long time. Whoa, this is interesting. A down loop slim chance. Now, I haven't seen that move for a very long time. When I got into kiting, they were the big deal moves, and I didn't want to go near them. So amazing to see that put out. I mean, how long has it been since we've seen one of them? That should score massive. They're harder than anything.
That's old school now.
That's old school, new school, maybe bringing it back.
That's retro.
Grab 3 there.
No, but you know, some of the new kites, they don't make that trick as spectacular as it used to be.
No, but that was a good one
Big
from Mario.
flat 3 from Mario, yeah.
But he is classic, as a very famous war guy once said. I can't remember the guy. I think it was adapt or die or something like that. And Mario is certainly one of them guys who's adapted to the changes of the PKRA. He's been there for years, so I would love to interview him later and see what made him throw that move down, because we haven't seen one of them moves done. It's got to score well, that.
Not in a while. And he's on the same gear.
There's an S-bend pass from Paul Sarin, but I think Mario is starting to squeeze. Only a minute into this heat, but Mario is way upwind. Is that a 12 we can see from Paul Sarin? I think that's yeah, it's a 12 then for him, and I'm pretty sure Mario. Would you do that on a 14 though? Would you do it down slim on a 14? I mean, that's
I don't know. He probably
slim.
Nice,
yeah.
pretty emergent slim.
It was a 14.
High.
I can see that's a 14.
Okay.
That's amazing.
He might, have a comfort zone on like a bigger kite where
yeah.
it's, it's doable. So he's like, what the hell?
Oh, that was
a
lovely.
nice.
I think that was a slim, or yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a slim.
So that was Paul Charon. That was this guy right here from France, age 19, riding for Nash O'Neill, and 71%. And definitely a strong rider, but Mario looking really good.
Yeah, he looks in control, and I mean there must be a slight bit more pressure in your own country, don't you think,
sure
Dave? Like your sponsors are here, and it's
for sure.
You're always doing interviews all the time. You're the main German guy. Everyone's got high expectations of you, but Mario seems to just deal with it, no probs.
Well, the reason I said I wasn't sure if he's here is because there's the German nationals that I know he was competing in somewhere else going on the same weekend in Germany. So I'm not sure who scheduled that one, but it wasn't the smartest scheduling.
So here comes how do you pronounce it? I've said Sarin for a long time.
Sarin, yeah, Paul Sarin.
You've got it good,
Saran.
That's right. That's probably
is what the
right.
French say, or what he says.
3.
Stomping that.
Yeah, he's got to have built the confidence up a bit there now, and he's going to get a nice tidal suck upwind here now, which is
can pinch a little bit better right there.
Yeah, that's that feeling that every
water.
kiteboarder knows, Dave, when you just have just enough of an onshore that you can use the outgoing tide and the waves to suck yourself up. But he's not going to be able to get upwind of Mario here. He's still in control of this heat, in my opinion. That's nice. Nice little shifty 3-1-3 from Paul Sarin. So he's building now, Paul, and I expect we might see him step things up.
We saw a low mob from Mario about the same time that Paul threw his 3-1-3.
Front mob. He likes the big front mob.
Yeah, he's got a good one too.
Oh, double S-bend pass. Cool. It was landed just at the same time. Very difficult that to know. Do you class that as a double S-bend to blind or a double S-bend pass? I mean, you'll never know unless you got. Well, maybe Forrest is shooting in some crazy frame rate with his new camera. We can see later.
We can. That's what we hope for the future, is for some instant replays.
What do you think? Are we going to see that from Paul here? No. It's a front mode. Well, toe side landing. Yeah.
So you mentioned you didn't like the what is it, Hindenburger?
I prefer to see front blind mobs. I do like to see. Oh no, sorry, God, that sounded bad. No, the Hindenburger. I'd rather see a low mob. Well, we say low mob, a mob. You know, the ones that sometimes I compare this stuff to what's possible at the cable. I don't often see the Hindenburg stuff go around, but certainly some of these guys are making it look very powered now. One of those guys that does that very well is actually Mario, and I'd be surprised if we didn't see he does the double back roll one as well.
So can you break it down for the folks at home if they're not really privy to the Hindenburger?
But it's more of I suppose it's more of an Olay with the back roll rather than consistently coming around with the back roll elbows in. It's more of an Olay where I suppose the Hindenburger is it's the opposite to one of the moves done on the other tack. There's a front mob to blind.
To blind.
That was a greedy blind. I didn't think he'd get that. It's kind of an Olay, I suppose, but with a back roll done as well. Hard to explain because I don't do them, or can't do them. To get that straight.
It is really tough. If you can really explain something well when you can feel it and see it in your head, and your body knows how to do it, and it's a whole other thing when I remember the first time someone was talking me through Pete Rose, and I couldn't even get my head around it. Just
I think there's a term for people that can't do something, can explain it well, and they're called salesmen.
yeah.
Right, so Paul Serra needs something out the bag here. The green flag is down. He's going to be right on the boundaries of this. Yeah, I think he might have possibly conceded. And this is the tack that we see the double Hindenburger. Yeah, there it is. And the pass. But just didn't find that one, Mario. But sometimes I think...
Was he going to land wrapped, or was he
I think he was going to pass the bar and land on his hillside edge. But I think sometimes when these riders, certainly Mario's one of them guys, when he knows he needs these moves, and some of these guys are like this, they land them. They just do them, you know. They know they need it. It's making the difference. I think he knew that he had that heat dealt with. It's going to be last trick saloon from Paul Serra. It's a blind judge 5. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that would have changed things, but it's now getting to that stage where we're seeing the sort of double passes and things like that. And for sure we're going to see some of that. I saw Yuri out earlier. He did blind judge 7.
I heard he did a massive blind judge 7. I missed it, though. But I was busy preparing the stream for you guys, but that's going to do it. That's the red flag up. You can see it right there on your screen. And coming up, we've got Mr. Nico Suriel from the Dominican Republic versus Ariel Corniel coming up here from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. So stick around. We'll be right back with more from Germany.
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops the trunk, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Says still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, we're bringing it back here live from the beachside. Who do we got coming up?
We have got coming up here, we've got Suriel against Corniel. He's been a cool character today, Corniel. He's been chilling on the beach, he's had the headphones on, like, nice guy as well, Ariel. Like, he's also been around for a while, and he's really made it good out of the Dom rep. I remember him coming here, last time I was here was 2009. This guy was freezing all the time. Now he's got a decent coat, he's got a earphones on. He's a cool character, Ariel, but yeah, I like him a lot.
Hi, I'm Ariel. I'm from Dominican Republic. So we are here in one more time Germany in St. Peter-Ording. So yeah, I was here training like 1 week ago. It's my home spot because I live here in Germany also the same. Yeah, I like it. I'm here with the PKRA, so we compete in the trials. I hope everything okay to go to the mini events and yeah, to winner, of course. Yes, so good luck everybody.
Well, you heard it. That's the man we just heard from. Actually, no, that's not him. That is Mr. Suriel and Nico. Both of these guys from the Dom rep, as you put it.
Oh yeah.
Nico is Dominican American from Cabarete, much younger. Like he's 17 years old, and I can find his profile to save my life, but I know I built it, but maybe it just got lost in space. But He is a great rider, good kid, and shows a lot of promise. But he's up against Ariel, who's much more senior. Ariel won the PKRA in Cabarete. I don't even know when it was, 2005 or 6 now.
I bet that was amazing out there. I bet he's going to be a hero for life. Can't imagine how that must have felt for the local people to see that. I think it was quite it's quite an amazing achievement. That's not the easiest place to kite. Have you been there? That's almost in the black books for me as chop out, but then I found in Quintro and La Boca, and it kind of brought it back up for me. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Bozo Beach, Kite Beach has some really nice spots. It gets a little shallow over the reef and the flat water, but yeah, there's definitely some great riding to be had. But Ariel is making his home now in Germany, believe it or not. So he's living in the mountains, and basically St. Peter-Ording is his home spot.
Smart guy, you know, he wants to be on the tour, and that it's not easy for these guys from those sorts of areas to travel around. And there's a 315 from Ariel. Maybe the wind's dropped a little bit here, Dave.
I think it has.
Downwind here, these guys, and a guy like Ariel isn't, you know, he knows what's up. So he's he'll be quite aware, and he looks a bit lighter than does the other rider, Cyril. I'm going to have to leave you in a second here, I think, Dave. It's time for me to help my mate out, and it's going to be an awesome heat. Aaron and Yuri. I mean, how chilled is Yuri? He's not even changed yet. He's got, what, 15 minutes to his heat? There he was signing someone's board. You know, he's a relaxed guy. And they've got a lot of respect for each other, these two guys, but it's going to be amazing to see what moves they've got. I know Aaron's got a few new moves up his trick.
Yeah,
up his sleeve.
Definitely really excited to have Aaron back here. Was kind of bummed that he didn't show up in Italy, but I guess he didn't miss much.
He's a master at forecast, Dave. He said weeks and weeks ago to me, I think that one might be a little bit light. I'm not sure. And then, you know, he knows this thing like the back of his hand. So pretty amazing move, that one. But I'm going to get out there now, Dave. I'll join you in a bit.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
That's okay. Maybe I can send Mario in here to explain that down leap slim chart.
That would be great.
See you soon.
Okay. Cheers. So that was Lewis Craythorne joining us here in the booth. If you are just joining the stream, we are in the middle of the heat with Nico Suriel from the Dominican Republic versus Ariel Corniel. This is Mr. Super cool kid. Great. Done a fair bit this year already. And it's amazing how quickly these Dominican kids kind of grow up. I mean, at 17, you know, kind of felt like I was hanging out with a 25-year-old or something. But really cool kid and a ripping rider. And he's up against, I'm sure, what was at one point, likely still is, one of his idols, Ariel Corniel from the Dominican Republic. So it does look like wind's getting a little bit lighter. Hopefully it holds on for us. 6:48 local time here in the northern German countryside. Nico going down. Kind of both these guys really at the bottom of the box. Struggling a bit, for sure. But still pulling out some nice tricks. It looks like Ariel, an NIS or an SML, I'm not sure, onto the beach. But he looked like he had some power there. Ariel is not uncommon for anyone from Dominican Republic to end up on the beach, as those kids grow up basically doing stuff right on the beach in shore break. If you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been there, you should go. It's worth the visit. So we, after we move on here, guys, just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to do through the day. Men's 1 through 8. We're going to shift gears, which actually Lewis didn't realize we were going to do 4 women's heats. So he doesn't really have to get out there right so soon to help Aaron. Lewis is caddying for a couple people, it sounds like, here. And you can see Ariel, or Nico right there, really pumping, trying to get whatever he can for a nice front blind mob. Little stally at the finish, but really good execution. Brought it around the hillside. Took off pretty clean. See what Ariel's got for us. Ooh, toe side. Trick for Ariel. Not sure what that was. It is a little dark here as the tide is starting to recede, so the riders are getting out further from where we are. Looks like Kevin Langray is making his way out onto the water for a little warm up. But I think it is starting to back off here, folks, unfortunately. But it's 6:50. We do have probably 3 hours of... Oh! And Nico going for a big S, double S3. And a little bit too much air time. Dumping his kite right there at the buzzer. That's going to do it for Nico Suriel and Ariel Corniel, both from the Dominican Republic. Wrapping up that heat number 8, our first round of the men's single elimination is kaput, as they say in German. That's going to do it, and we are going to shift gears from what I know anyways to the women. We're going to do a couple rounds of women, 4 of them actually. And it looks like we've got Novotna versus Solovekina coming up, so that should be an interesting one. Stick around, folks. There's more action on deck coming your way here from Germany. Be right back with more from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup.
Just one more.
Still, that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
Bottom, actually middle right hand side of your screen, you can see that white and red bandera or flag flapping in the wind. You know what that means? That means we are postponement, the AP flag. And I think that we may have a 3-heat break, as there has been some trying to get the live scoring back up and running for you guys at home, as well as some networking issues in the tower as far as getting the tablets communicating. So a bit of a technical difficulty here, and the latest word I've gotten was that there's going to be a 3-heat break, which adds up to about 30 minutes. So this would be a great time to go mix that cocktail, you know, put on some Barry White or whatever kind of music you're into, or take a, you know, just take a load off, because folks, it is just going to get hot in here, as the plan would be then to actually continue on to men's round number 2, starting off with Eudazio da Silva and I believe Mr. Uter, who went through that first heat. But yeah, it's going to get really impressive. And then, of course, following that, we've got Yuri Zun versus Aaron Hadlow in that second heat of the second round of the men. So it's going to be a phenomenal show here. The wind seems to be holding out. I'm not going to make any solid predictions, but, you know, it does stay light until about 10:30 here. We are that far north, so we theoretically we could run heats for another 2.5 hours, no problem. So that being said, I'm going to cut to a quick break and try and get the full results from our head judge Sammy Gali, and come back and give you the full rundown of what we've covered so far today, who's moved on, who's going to have to wait to get a second try in the double elimination, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you for being with us. It's a beautiful day here in northern Germany. It's actually evening, 7 o'clock. So as I said, kick your feet up, go make a donut. I don't know wherever you're living, whatever it is that you eat. Go fix yourself something to eat, something to drink, and plan on being back with us here. And do check in, as I'll be posting updates as we are updated. So thanks again for being with us from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. I'm Dave Tyberski here with you live. Stick around. We'll be back with more action.
Don't touch that dial, because you are...
To your mind, live and direct from the ethers. Now it's all in your speakers. till you sneak up. Now, as we prepare for our liftoff, you'll need only two things to direct your course: your ears and your soul. I bring to you the Robert Glasper experiment. Experimentation for meditation. Back to where we were now. I bring to you Brother Rob, Chris, Derek, KC, RCDC. Rock on, rock on, rock on, rock on, rock on. This is it.
One, me, 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 me. One, two, 1, 2.
Let me get a little more on my left, and my head's right here, just a little more. Just a little more.
2, 2, 2, 2. Hey, hey.
Something like.
Check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic.
Microphone check 1 2 2 1 2.
Save the bass.
Check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check.
I mean, I'm mastering this.
Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on.
Yes, here we are again. The experiment
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops, truck says this you got to see. piece. Do you like my merchandise? Said still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, folks, you heard it, or you didn't really hear it, but you saw it on your screen, and you can still see it right there. We've got a special guest in the house, and you might know who it is. Just waiting for that to go off screen. It is this guy. Joining me here is Mr. Mario Rodwald, who's just had a massive, huge day from the sound of things. Mario, tell us a bit about your day, number one. We've got some time to kill, so we've got pretty much the top German rider in the world sitting here at an event here in his home country who just finished his heat, and great to have you, man. How was your day?
Yeah, my day was pretty sick, actually. I think it was as long as for all the other people who did the trials, because they had to be here at 8 in the morning. I think Ewan had his first heat at 8. And so did I. I was in Warnemünde. We had the nationals. There was, I think, some misunderstanding with the dates of the nationals in this one, because I think this one was supposed to be 1 week later, and then they had this event there, and then I don't know. In the end, they couldn't really change it anymore. So I just went there for the weekend because I didn't have to do the trials, and yeah, I won my first 2 heats there this morning, and then drove 300 kilometers here, pumped up my kites, and did my other heat.
Wow. Well, you wouldn't have been able to tell by the way you rode out there, but geez, you already had 2 heats. How did you end up in the nationals?
Yeah, it was good. I won the nationals. So it's a series of 4 stops. Okay. I won the first 2.
So it's a tour, basically.
Yeah,
okay,
tour.
I thought it was like the German championships.
No,
like
and I gotta go win one more. So
one more, and then you're the German champion.
Yeah.
All right, well, I know you can do it. But, well, awesome. Two heats this morning at a different competition in another part of the country, 320 kilometers later. You're here in St. Peter-Ording, and you just had your first heat of the day against Mr. Saran.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, so we had Mr. Lewis Crathern in here, and we were commenting on your down loop slam, and we were like, what the hell is he really, he's taking it old school. So that trick we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, it's a high level trick. It kind of came in, and it was pretty popular for a while, and then we haven't seen it in a while. So we were just kind of like, awesome. Love seeing that trick. It looks good, it's styly, and what made you want to throw that in your heat? Did you?
I don't know. I still like doing it. So when I'm free riding, I sometimes just do it. I don't know, maybe every one month or 2. And then it was out there, and it was so choppy out there. So I thought I don't want to go for just a straight loaded pop, because it's kind of hard to get the pop perfect for your first trick. So I just thought maybe just go for a kite loop and try and do it from 10, 12, 14 is the best, because they go a little bit slower. If you do it on the 7, it does like 2 loops.
Right.
It pulls out your shoulders.
Yeah, I can imagine. And certain kites have a different pull, through a kite loop. So I'm sure. I think I remember trying that once, and I decided it wasn't for me.
I saw you trying KGBs and front mopes in Perth like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, those were tricks I used to have like on lockdown. Yeah. Those were 2 of my ones that I could always kind of pretty much pull out.
So you're training with Joe on the low mope as well.
Where was this, at Woody's?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We lived together for a bit.
It was Christmas, yeah.
You stayed, yeah. Okay. Well, it's all coming back to me. But Mario, how does it feel to be? I mean, this is an iconic event in the industry and in the world of kiteboarding. I mean, just to give you an idea, we've tens of thousands of people on the beach at the parties every night. Biggest crowds you see pretty much anywhere in the world for a kiteboarding competition today. Easily 300 kites, people free riding out on the water. I mean, how does it feel to be, the best in your country and have such a massive event here in your own Germany?
It feels really amazing. Like all these people, like it's so many people on the beach, and like I'm in all these magazines, and I come to the beach and there's like basically the only event was like people waiting for me to get an interview. It's like, I'm like, whoa.
They're just lined up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like they do such a good job here. The guys from the press, like all the radio stations are here, the TV stations. So I think they all got into kiteboarding over I think this is the 7th or 8th World Cup here in St. Peter.
Yeah.
And like people got into it, and they know who's first, and they know who's second, and they know who's going for the title. So it's good for the industry, and it's good for our sport, and also for the riders. It's a great feeling.
No, I'm sure.
And the parties are sick.
Yeah. Well, you're probably gonna be pretty tired tonight. Do you think you're gonna make it out to the party?
No, today I woke up at 6 and finished yesterday at 12. We had like some work in Warnemünde, so I'm really looking forward to win my next heat and then go to bed.
So who are you up against next?
It's Kevin Langry.
All right. So yeah, I saw Kevin getting kind of going out, getting a little warm up in, a little nervous. Good. I like the confidence. But so we've got this little break. I think the technical staff is still sorting out the tablets, trying to get everything functioning properly. So hopefully we will get back into some more men's heats. But what's the plan from now? Are you just going to kind of psych yourself up or stay warm? It looks like you got a nice jacket on.
Yeah, I got my winter jacket, wearing it all year in Germany every time I come home. And now I'm just going to go back, relax a little bit, maybe listen to some music, and then I think like 40 minutes before my heat I get ready, get changed, and see if the 14 is still good.
Yeah, well, what do you think the wind's gonna do? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So many people on the beach that the network is not really working anymore, so I can't have a look at the forecast. But the clouds look the same, so I guess it'll just stay for 14.
What about for the coming days? I mean, you probably have a pretty good idea of what the weather does. This is all pretty much frontal winds with different high pressures and low pressures passing. So this isn't,
It's the stuff you learn in school where you don't listen.
Okay. Well, maybe we should have listened.
Yeah, we should have listened. They told me it's going to be perfect on Friday and Saturday again. But I guess we will have the singles finished till the next weekend, because it changes all the time, and you also get thermical winds sometimes once it's easterly. So
it looks like we should have some wind throughout the week if we don't get to finish much today, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right on. Well, Mario, man, it's been a banner day for you so far. You won the second or third stop, second stop of the German tour. So congratulations on that. And here you are advancing through your first heat, coming up against Kevin Langray in your next one. So I guess best of luck, and thanks for taking the time out. And
thank you. And
go get warm.
See you tomorrow.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that is it from Mr. Mario Rodwald. And that's going to do it for me for a little bit. I'm just going to take a quick break, try and get some of the results tallied, and come back with those. But do stick with us. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a 3-heat break before we will resume competition. So now's a good time to sit back, relax, plan your evening around what is yet to come. And we'll be back with more here live from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup.
Don't touch that dial, because you are locked into DJ Tarkan.
get high to sedate my fear and hate of those who take power, create chaos to dominate. Sew it up, clean slate, clean break from the old goals and new faith. Take my people by the hand, cause I know I'm not alone. Like Michael Brand, just trying to understand those positive and negative and give it its place. Come into the conclusion that we all the same race. We're just humans, so what we doing? Trying to segregate things, break things, to help the shit, just make things happen until clapping is nothing but the sound of applause. Celebrating we succeeded in the cause like that, y'all. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait. Life is way too poetic for me not to describe it. Pain of my people is too much to try and hide it. Life is a trip, man, all you can do is ride it. I be open-minded until the truth you find it. Whoever knew it was right under your eyelids. Close them one more time, I know you won't mind it. Me, you hear it from, and not your daddy. You can carry your own, I'm not your caddy. Got no handicap, yo, just a handy rap flow. You so much under my cap, you know how that go. Make 1 + 1 equal more than 2. So these two guys can mean so much more to you, yeah. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait, yeah. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait. I keep my vision on panoramic, where most stay stuck in the same social dynamics. And so the panic, yo, the act frantic. Same closed-minded antics, acting like they got no storage room up in the attic. Even when the claims spread, love and unity, they're limited to just one group in the community. I go farther than that though, my hat low, nose to the grindstone, but take time to chat, yo. Stay in touch with my family, plus reality, thus maintaining my sanity, and that's a strategy. See, that's a strategy, yeah. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait, yeah. Finally we're away, we gon' change the game. We don't have to wait, yeah.
many bottles of this wine we can't pronounce. Too many bowls of that green, no lucky charms. The maids come around too much. Parents ain't around enough. Too many joy rides in daddy's Jaguar. Too many white lies and white lines. Super rich kids with nothing but loose ends. Super rich kids with nothing but fake friends. Start my day up on the roof. There's nothing like this type of view. Point the clicker at the tube. I prefer expensive news. New car, new girl. New ice, new glass. New watch, good times, babe. It's good times, yeah. She wash my back 3 times a day. This shower head feels so amazing. We'll both be high. The help don't stare. They just walk by. They must don't care. 1,000,001, 1,000,002. 100 more will never do. Too many bottles of this wine we can't pronounce. Too many bowls of that green, no Lucky Charms. The maids come around too much. Parents ain't around enough. Too many joy rides in daddy's Jaguar. Too many white lies and white lines. Super rich kids with nothing but loose ends. Super rich kids with nothing but fake friends. Real love. I'm searching for a real love. Real love. I'm searching for a real love. Oh, real love.
Alright. Close your eyes for what you can't imagine. We are the Zanny Nashing, Caddy smashing, bratty assy, Maddie snatched his daddy's jagging, used this shit for batting practice. Adam and Annie thrashing, purchasing crappy grams with half the hand of cash you handed. Panic and patch me up, Pappy done latchkeyed us, toying with raggy hands, and Mammy done had enough. Brash as fuck, breaching all these aqueducts. Don't believe us, treat us like we can't erupt.
We end our day up on the roof. I say I'll jump, I never do. But when I'm drunk, I act a fool. Talking about, do they sew wings until it suits? I'm on that ledge. She grabs my arm, she slaps my head. It's good times, yeah. Sleep if some slip and fall. The market's down like 60 stories, and some don't end the way they should. My silver spoon is fed me good. 1,000,001, 1,000,000 cash. Close my eyes and feel the crash. Too many bottles of this wine we can't pronounce. Too many bowls of that green, no Lucky Charms. The maids come around too much. Parents ain't around enough. Too many joy rides in daddy's Jaguar. Too many white lies and white lines. Super rich kids with nothing but loose ends. Super rich kids with nothing but fake friends. Real love, ain't that
Don't touch that dial because you are locked into DJ Tarkan.
All right, we have news, folks. It is underway. You can see the red flag there flying high. It's already been raised. The AP flag has been dropped. And you can see that little burst of sunlight peeking through the clouds there over that big pier-looking thing. I'm not sure what you really call that. But anyways, we're back here live from St. Peter-Ording. Dave Tyberski, and we are going to resume competition here. And it looks like we're just going to go into 4 more heats for the day, and we're going to shift gears over to the ladies. The ladies, man. So we've got coming up in heat number 1, Novotna versus Solovekina, something like that. It's a pretty tough one to pronounce. We've got Lange coming up versus Lutz. Following that, we have Jungo versus Lammerts. And probably wrapping it up with the last heat of the day is going to be Novotny versus Tabel. So we've got ladies action coming up. So grab the kids, gather around the computer, grab your wives, girlfriends, and all your loved ones, and cozy up to the computer screen, because it is happening in just a matter of a few minutes. But I want to recap what we've accomplished yet this far in the day. It wasn't a ton, but we did make it through the first round of men's first heat. We had Hutter versus Garashenko, and Hutter advancing. We had Patrick Blanc versus Aaron Hadlow. Tough draw for Patrick. Hadlow advancing. He's going to meet Yuri Zun in that next round. We had Ewan Jaspin advancing over Ivandro da Silva. And we had Spiesberger advancing over Hund. Maybe you pronounce it Hund. It depends on where you're from. Then heat number 5, we had Madsen and Umpiere with Umpiere, pretty good to upset, riding really well and beating Carlos Madsen. Heat 6, we saw Alberto Rondina advancing over Jono Scholta from the Netherlands. And, of course, if you were with us just moments ago, we had Mario Rodwald in here. Mario advanced over Paul Serran from France. He'll be coming up against Kevin Langeret in the next round. And that final heat, we just had those results come out for all you folks in Cabarete or the DR or any other Ariel Corniel and Nico Suriel fans, wherever you're located. That was Nico Suriel advancing over Mr. Ariel Corniel. So congratulations, 17-year-old little Nico from Dominican Republic, who's going to be coming up against our current vice world champion and first place position holder here in the 2013 PKRA rankings. Is Mr. Alex Pastor from Spain. But underway right now are the ladies. Green flag is flying on the best kite. I believe we have, that is the tough one to pronounce. That is Solovekina, which that sounded pretty good. From Russia, up against Novotna, also from Russia. Pretty big Russian posse. That was Novotna right there. The nice front blind pass, I would think. So you can see the light is fading just ever so slightly. Here is at 7:30. But I am not joking when I say it is dusk at about 10:30. I think we could probably technically run heats until late into the evening for most of you. 10 o'clock is pretty late. Vatna ending up on the beach. You can see the tide has receded from when we began that first round of men's. So that is pretty much where they were riding. It just comes in and goes out pretty darn quickly. And you would be, I don't know, it's surprising to me. For example, like the Mediterranean does not have much of a tidal range for such a small sea. And this is a much smaller sea, but it's kind of connected through all northern Europe and into the East Sea, and I think it is anyway. Someone can feel free to correct me, but massive tidal range here. hopefully we've got wind shaping up throughout the week. I think that is kind of one of the plans, because we do have slalom that we're going to be running here. Ooh, looks like a slim chance attempt right there. Achtung, look out for that thing. But that is Novotná right there. That must have been Solovykinja with the slim chance attempt going down. Novotná not making much of anything out of that load and pop, but that will count for a trick attempt. One of her trick attempts. You can see they've got the Volkswagen Passats mounted with these generators and speaker systems for the crowd, so they can hear everything that's going on as the Tide does its thing throughout the day, marching about 300-400 meters in and out. As at times it does get quite a bit away from the main event area. I'll cut to a shot of the main event area after we see this next trick right there from Novotná. And that's that overview. You can get a little bit of an idea of how far the event site is from the water's edge, but that is really no justification of how big this event site area is. I'm going to try and go out and get some shots of the village to run throughout the week, as we hopefully will have plenty of time to do some pre-recorded stuff as well, create some content to bring and stream to you guys live when you tune back in with us, which I do invite you to do, as we are here for 10 days. This is the longest event of the year, 10 days, 10 full whole days here in Germany at the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. Many thanks to a lot of companies coming together, including In Touch, Bundeswehr, Kimsey, Jever Beer, MTV Mobile, Lufthansa, Multipower, Pringles, City of St. Ording, XH2O, Kite Forum, Kite Life, LST, Vita Coco, Vitamin Water, Coca-Cola, and Friends of Frozen Yogurt. So a pretty massive production here that they put on in St. Peter-Ording. But it does feel good to be up and streaming for you guys, because I tell you, yesterday was basically a day of putting out massive, massive fires. But most importantly, the red flag has fallen, meaning it is the last trick saloon time. Ladies bellying up at the bar, Novotná versus Solovykinja on the water. Last trick. Drink it down, ladies. They are pretty far downwind, so could be seeing decreasing winds at the moment. But, ooh, Novotná going for a S1 attempt, but falling short, not reaching the bar. Solovykinja coming towards us. Both of these ladies from Russia. And quite powered riders. A nice blind judge from Solovykinja, not pretty stally on the landing and basically walking out of it. I think that's going to count as a crash. But that is left up to the judges, and that's going to be the buzzer. Excuse me. Going to be the buzzer, and the red flag is flying right there. You can see there's some people upwind, kite and make the best of the remaining winds here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in northern Germany, village of St. Peter-Ording. 7:37 local time. I'm Dave Tyberski here at the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup, one of the premier events for the tour season for us. and for many of the people who have come together. And I got to tell you, it's pretty amazing because there's a massive amount of the industry here. We've got all the brands represented and all the big masterminds and the CEOs and all the, the big wigs of all the kite brands are here, which is pretty cool. So I got to spend some time rubbing shoulders with those guys, checking out all the latest and greatest 2014 gear, some mid-season release stuff from everyone. And whoa, that looks like Rick Jensen. We're seeing, Pangea Festival. Looks like someone's doing a little promo right there, if you read German. So looks like Forrest has got a little buddy out there at the camera doing a little promo. So happy to do it. Happy you guys are with us. And I'm going to talk about our next heat. So coming up right now is Langa versus Lutz on deck. Both of these ladies. I know I've got a profile from Langa. She is a Polish girl, quite a looker. She is from hometown Wedes. Okay, you guys can go ahead and read that one yourselves. Age 26, riding for Nobile 77 project rather. She likes a lot, and apparently enjoys Nutella. Dislikes cold, and likes some pretty cool music. And she's coming up next against Miss Lutz, which I believe is the German rider Lutz. And one of the reasons I don't have a profile from her is I think she was at the German Championships as well with Mario. So that's a pretty good excuse. So those ladies are coming up next, but there's about a minute remaining, so stick around. We'll be back with more of these ladies. Heat number 2, Lang versus Lutz.
Just one more.
Just in the nick of time for the start of that women's heat, just making it over. Karolinska Langa versus Miss Lutz. I forget Miss Lutz's name. I don't really know it, to tell you the truth. But I'm quite certain she's German. If I could understand German, I could listen to the announcer and give you a little bit more info on her. But my German is quite bad. But you can see both of these ladies. The light is coming down, but I think it's just more a factor of the clouds coming and covering the sun, because the sun is still quite high. And I know from many times being here already that it stays late, or it stays light really late. So I get home sometimes from the event site, usually after 9:30, 10, close to, and by the time I eat dinner and get ready for bed, I'm looking at my watch and going, oh my God, it's 12:15. But these guys are on the water right now, doing their best, making the best of these. Looks like lighting conditions are lightening up a bit. Both of these ladies on quite big kites. Looks like 12s all around. Actually, Katarina could be on a 10. Actually, both these ladies might be on a 10. I think they are, actually. Katarina's on that Nobile kite. Miss Lutz is on the North kite. Sabrina Lutz, I believe. Right there, going out is Karolinska Langa from Poland. Quite some good riders out of Poland. We've got Asha Litwin, Karolina Winkowska, and Slunga's quite a good rider herself. I think the first time I've seen her show up was in Italy. A spin to crash from Lange. And I can't see her competitor. She must be quite downwind. Sabrina Lutz. And looked like a front roll to blind, something I was just kind of looking out the window, as both of these ladies are, they're actually more in front of the camera. I was looking more out the window, but the camera's got a much better angle to cover these ladies. Sabrina Lutz right there. See a little sun peeking through. Sabrina's making the most of that inside section to pinch her way upwind. And it looks like they're really having a hard time staying inside the box. Coming up, we've got Jungo and Lammertz. Jungo from Switzerland. Lammertz, I'm not sure. I've got a profile for her. We'll throw up and we'll find out. That sun is really coming out right now. It was actually better filming condition, less backlit when the clouds were covering it, but it's peeking its shining head out through the clouds. Nice blind judge from Lange. Quite impressive riding. She's one of the, a little bit older. I think she was, what, 26 or something? Which in competitive kiteboarding is a little bit mid to high end for age, as most of our competitors are quite young, and they just seem to get younger and younger. Or I'm just getting older and older. Wow. Sabrina going for a Rayleigh Raptor, a 313. But landing heel side, going down pretty hard. Be careful. Achtung, Baden verboten. This is the no swimming zone. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I understood that. I could read that in German. Baden verboten. Ooh, looked like a down loop Rayleigh from Katarinska. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but it's a challenging one. Some of these names just really throw a monkey wrench into my whole game here. So I do apologize. I do hope to get her in the booth at some point and have her clear the air on that one. But you can see that Sabrina's down. Sabrina Lutz with her kite down, getting tangled in that buoy as people are coming up to the booth and shaking it quite hard. I think that was Mark Jacobs. He likes bananas. I saw it on his profile. And it's no surprise that his nickname is the Caveman. And just at the buzzer, just kind of a small little Rayleigh from, geez, it's tough to tell because I can't see the kite. I think it was Katarinska Lange from Poland, and that was her competitor, still out on the water, coming in as Sabrina Lutz from Germany. So we will have to see what the judges have to say about that one. You can see our judges' tower right there, that big yellow truck. That's what they have been living in since about 8 o'clock this morning when we began running heats. So a long day for everyone here. 7:45 local time. Definitely about 12 hours so far been on site here, but loving every minute of it for sure. So do appreciate you guys sticking with us as we are here in our second women's heat of the event, our single elimination, just finishing up Lang versus Lutz, and moving on to heat number 3, coming up from Switzerland, Manuela Jungo versus Lammerts. So stick around, we'll be right back with more action here as it unfolds from the Beetle Kitesurf World Cup.
Hits its brakes and pops the trunk, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Says still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
All right, that was Langa from Poland advancing in that last heat. Congratulations to her. She will be moving on, but on the water right now is Manuela Jungo riding for Liquid Force versus Lammerts. A nice rally wrapped from Manuela, ending up on the beach bit. That is Annaloes Lammerts right there from the Netherlands, 19, riding for Brunati, Slingshot, and Mystic. Good-looking girl. Lots of great Dutch riders. It's impressive the amount of good riders that come out of Holland. We haven't seen too many good Dutch female riders apart from Jalou Langouret that I can think of. We had Petra Goschel back in the day. I'm trying to think of who else. I'm sure there's plenty. She is up against Manuela Jungo from Switzerland. That is Switzerland right there. Manuela, 29, riding for Liquid Force. Roxy, Trouser watches. Loves Swiss chocolate. Does not like cold water. And a classic answer for a music. Depends on the mood. But that was Manuela right there. Showing you she's got what it takes. I think she was powering down some Swiss chocolate before this heat. She's riding pretty strong. Lammerts from the Netherlands. Probably quite accustomed to these conditions. Manuela spending a lot of her time out of Switzerland. There's not a whole lot of places to kite in Switzerland. Nice shifty 3. All shifty wrap, really. It's a pretty interesting heat thus far from what I'm watching on the screen. These ladies are looking a bit more powered than our last heat, which is good to hear, or good to see. As we've been somewhat dealing with quite light conditions throughout this whole tour season. I was talking to tour manager, and Jungo going down, but I was talking to Mauricio, our tour manager, and this has been kind of a tour season for light winds. We haven't really had too many light winds throughout the 12 years that the tour has been in existence. Dakla had quite good winds. Lucat was a little light for Lucat for sure, and then Italy, we had quite light winds, didn't get to finish completely the single. And it was really too bad because just an amazing spot there in Sicily. And Wella down the line, I think, did a blind judge further down. That was not captured. But it's getting a little bit tougher to see with that light poking through. It's definitely more backlit. Here's the sun. Does begin to drop a little lower in the horizon. Here it is almost 8 o'clock local time. So we're winding down the day. But both of these ladies looking quite powered. Annabelle Lammerts from the Netherlands with a nice front roll to blind. And Manuela Jungo right there on her tack out, riding for Liquid Force. Ooh, I think she was going for the back to blind. Definitely not being able to do that last 180 to blind and going down. She's got a couple minutes remaining in this heat anyways. There's still plenty of time. That is Lammerts right there on that purple slingshot kite coming in. Looking quite powered. She might be on a 12. That was Lammerts getting that last trick off there as the red flag is fallen, signifying it is the last trick saloon hour. Both of these ladies need to belly up and get that last move in for the judges. And that's going to be it at the buzzer. Oh, nice back to wrap right as the horn sounded for... Gosh, I can't really see. I think it was Lammerts. That was a pretty solid heat from Lammerts. I'm impressed, and I'm pretty curious to hear who's going to be advancing out of that women's heat number 3 here in beautiful St. Peter-Ording, Germany. Heat number 3 in the first round of the women's just unfolded in front of our eyes with Manuela Jungo and Annabelle Lammertz. Or Anne-Marie, I'm sorry, I think that's her name. But we are going to take a quick break as we've got Volvatni from Norway coming up against Tidal. Let's see, we've got both of these young ladies, pretty impressive riders, waiting for those profiles to come up as apparently my computer's on about a minute delay from when I press a button. But we've got Volvatni versus Tidal coming up right there. Therese Tidal from Denmark, super smiley girl. I got a chance to chat with her briefly as I came out of the live stream booth, and she recognized me from the live stream, so that made me feel pretty cool. From 16 years of age, riding for Cabrina NP, likes happy people, sand, and kiting, of course, dislikes rain, and she's coming up against Miss Volvatni, her competitor from Norway, residing in Hamburg, probably our oldest female competitor right now. We do have Christine Buzzi from Germany. I think she's probably 35, 36, around that age as well, but she's only running, competing in the slalom, and sponsored by Kite Worldwide, 2AG Pro Limit, and Cool Shoes. So those ladies are coming up. Please do stick around. There's more action to come as we move on into heat number 4 of the ladies here from beautiful St. Peter-Ording, Germany.
Don't touch that dial because you are locked into DJ Tarkan. All right, these ladies are on the water, going down hard right there. I think that was Tidal from the Netherlands, or Denmark, actually. I'm sorry. But we did see a really powered S-bend from Novotna, or I'm sorry, from Valvatne. So pretty powerful rider. You can see a difference between a 37-year-old rider and a 16-year-old rider, just in the body style and the amount of power that they can carry through. Got some gracious visitors saying hello to me, but yeah, just quite a difference. I mean, we saw that a lot in the juniors last week in Costa Brava. I mean, the technical tricks, they're there. It's just that they lack a little bit of body mass, a little bit of strength, but these kids are doing amazing things. But there's quite an interesting disparity between these two women. A 37-year-old, quite powerful rider with a nice blind judge, but just bouncing out on landing, going down. Valvatna versus Tidal. Solid rider for her own right, but definitely a little bit lighter, younger for sure, 16 years of age, quite lighter. Walking her way upwind, actually, and heading back out as Valvatna's down at the bottom of the box, trying to get back out into that deeper water to make her way up. Ooh, nice. Blind judge attempt from Tidal, but going down, putting her kite in the drink. Getting it relaunched. As we are in what could be our last heat of the day. I'm not going to call it, but there was some talk that we could wrap it up here after this first round of the women's, meaning we would have gone through our first men's round today and our first round of the women in the single elimination here, which, as you know, is just the beginning, folks. There's a week of action to unfold. I haven't been able to see the latest and greatest forecast, but geez, nice from Tidal. A beautiful, nice laid out S-bend to blind. But kind of going down. See that sun really peeking through, kind of becoming an issue here in the box to see my monitor. But a really nice aggressive riding from this young 16-year-old from Denmark. Impressive. I have not seen Valvatna, as she has disappeared down at the out of my view. So we'll see if our cameraman can capture her. She must be out of the box because he's not putting the camera on there. And as we know, we may or may not know, if they're not in the box, they're not. Well, usually they're not doing tricks, but if they do, they're not being scored, so there's no use. So usually when we don't see them, that means they're taking a big, long tack. There she is right there, coming back into the competition area. That is Valvatne from Norway, residing in Hamburg, 37. And she is still pretty far down. She didn't make a whole lot of upwind gain on that last tack. So there are some advantages to being a lighter weight rider. See what Valvatne's got for us. Valvatne riding on a Nash kite. Ooh, nice blind judge from Tidal. Therese Tidal from Denmark, 16 years of age on a Rena kite. And that is Valvatne. Oh, going down really, really hard. And I think she's going to, ooh, I'm not sure. That looked like it hurt. But she is riding really aggressive, trying to take advantage of that flat water in the inside. And that time it just bit her in the ass. She just slammed pretty hard. I hope she's all right, but pretty aggressive riding from Valvatne right there at the buzzer. That looked like it might have rang her bell. As I wish I had a replay to show you guys, but I don't. That's the red flag up, and that is going to mean that's it for our first round of ladies. That was Valvatne versus Tidal. We're going to have to hear what the judges have to say. Some results from the last two heats. We had Lunga advancing over Lutz. And heat number 3, we had Jungo advancing over Lammerts. We're just going to have to wait and see what our judges say about that last heat. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, throw it to commercial, and come back with those results and hopefully have an update of where we're headed here as we are kind of winding down, and there was talk of wrapping it up after the first ladies heat. So I will be back here in just a little bit with that information.
Just one more.
Hits its brakes and pops trucks, says this you got to see. I got chains and diamond rings, 8 tracks and LPs. Do you like my merchandise? Says still that ain't for me. Just give me the beat. That's all I need. Just give me the beat.
Don't touch that dial because you are locked into DJ Tarkan.
All right, folks, we're back. Got the latest and greatest results. Advancing out of Heat 4, that's going to be Therese Tidal from Denmark over Vavotne. Quite an interesting heat from both of those ladies in a big effort on both their parts. Impressive riding from Tidal, a young lady killing it from Denmark, and Vavotne just charging, going really hard in doing some big tricks, but going down hard as well, not making it through. So congratulations to both of those ladies for some pretty spectacular riding, and congratulations to all the people today who moved through, as it has been quite a day. As if you were lucky enough to be with us earlier on, we did have quite some men's action. That was pretty impressive. I'll just try and recap some of that for you guys here if you are just tuning in late. But we had Hooter advancing over Garashenko. Tomorrow he's going to be, well, hopefully tomorrow, whenever there's wind. Don't hold me to it. I haven't checked the forecast. And then we had Patrick Blanc falling to Aaron Hadlow. Tomorrow, next heat for Hadlow is going to be up against Yuri Zun. Heat 3, we had Jaspan versus Ivandro da Silva, and Jaspan advancing. He's coming up against Liam Whaley. Then we had Spiesberger versus Hund, and Spiesberger advancing, going up against Mr. Mark Jacobs. Carlos Madsen versus Umpiere. Umpiere succeeding in that battle against Madsen, and he's coming up against Mr. Renan Ramu from Brazil. And Rondina versus Schulta. And Rondina advancing. He's going to be meeting Christoph Tack in his next heat. Rodwald versus Sharon. He's coming up against Kevin Langeray, as we heard. Got a chance to sit down with him. And Nico Suriel from the Dominican Republic beating out one of his fellow countrymen, Ariel Corniel, residing now in Germany in his home spot. And Nico's going to have his work cut out for him against our vice world champion, Alex Pastor, in his next heat. So amazing day of action, folks. It's been a long one, I'm going to tell you that. We started running trials heats at 8 o'clock this morning or shortly thereafter, and a lot of action unfolded, and it was a major battle for a lot of these riders. 71 guys battling it out for 14 spots, and we've whittled it down, made it through the first round, and it's just going to be an epic event as it unfolds throughout the week here in St. Peter-Ording. 10 days total as we are, just at the beginning of it. So day number 3 under our belts. First round of competition of the singles done, and just look forward to more wind and more action. So please do stick with us. Check our Facebook for the latest start times. Tune into our Twitter feed at Pro Kite Tour. Always, of course, follow our Instagram feed as well at Pro Kite Tour, and keep posted and tune back in. So this is Dave Tyberski signing off for what was the first day of our main event here in St. Peter-Ording, Germany. 2013 PKRA Beetle Kitesurf World Cup. Thanks for being with us, folks, and we'll see you the next time. As I mentioned, all the updates of when we're going live are going to be on our Facebook page, so stay tuned, folks. There's more to unfold.
Don't touch that dial because you are